Welcome to Ask Amrita and Bela. As always, Bela and I will answer one question each. So my first question is, are children too small to learn about science in preschool? So now this question is not uncommon. My company, EduLearn Chrome, makes curriculum for preschools. And one of my clients, after buying my curriculum, said she couldn't find any science in the curriculum. Now, I know for a fact that there are science activities. So I asked her, what do you mean by science? And she said, you know what? Science is all about experiments and labs and things like that. So I said, okay, let's see what scientists do. They follow 4 steps. They observe, they explore, they investigate or experiment, they hypothesize or predict, and then they come to a conclusion. What do children do? Just like scientists, they're seeking information, they're actively exploring, they're investigating the world around them, they're trying to see what happens, and then they predict, only they don't possibly come to any definite conclusion. So children have an innate sense of wonder and natural curiosity about objects and events in their environment. Preschool science is all about active learning. It's not about memorizing scientific facts, watching the teacher perform science demonstrations. The purpose of preschool science is to nurture children's habits of inquiry, critical thinking, creativity, innovative problem solving, fostering open-mindedness, and giving them the motivation to learn. So preschool science should guide children's natural curiosity into opportunities where they observe, explore, and inquire about their world. I'm going to give you a tangible example. Just take any 3 items of varying weights. They could be scarves, bean bags, light balls, anything that you have around you, which is of varying weight. So ask the children to take the lightest of these 3 and throw it in the air. What's going to happen? Let them observe. Does it go up or does it go down? Now let's take something heavier. What happens? Does that also come down or does that stay up? What is the child doing? He's observing, he's exploring, he's experimenting, he's predicting. For older children, just step up this activity. Ask the children to toss the lightest of these items into the air as hard as possible. Does it come down slow or does it come down fast? Do they see any difference in how fast it comes down if they don't throw it hard? Now you can try this experiment with the next heaviest item and finally with the heaviest item. Of these 3, which do you think will come down the fastest? Which will come down the slowest? Why do you think these things are coming down faster and slower? I want you to know that it's not important whether they know the answer. Just thinking about this is important. This is active science. This is scientific inquiry. We are giving children ways to explore, develop knowledge, understand scientific ideas. We need to give children opportunities to make these observations, pose these questions, plan investigations, use tools to gather information and make predictions. Now, it's not important just to have a great physical environment with a lot of materials to do these experiments or investigations. But we also need to have, a social environment which supports this. To engage curiosity, open-mindedness, allowing children to ask questions, to have critical reflection, to, have independence of thought, perseverance, cooperation. All these are also very important. So in a preschool environment or in an environment with young children, and you want to inculcate this culture of inquiry, the teacher or the parent will act as a researcher. They'll join children in exploring their world. They will ask open-ended questions, encourage children to think and talk, encourage children to use new vocabulary, words like explore, predict, measure, all those. Invite children to reason, make predictions, and test these reasonings. Encourage children to share their observations, communicate their thoughts. So I hope this answered your question. No child is too young to learn science. So please go ahead and do all this with your child at home or in school.
The second question for today is, my child always creates a fuss for brushing his teeth. How can I encourage him without losing my cool? There are certain habits that are very important, just like healthy eating, sleeping on time, and brushing of teeth. If your child is giving you trouble for brushing his teeth, it can be extremely frustrating. Let's find out why the child resists brushing his teeth. Having teeth brushed may be uncomfortable for your child. Children are normally either growing teeth or losing teeth, due to which the area becomes sensitive. Trying to avoid pain and discomfort is very natural. Maybe the area is still raw. Let's be mindful about the same. Let me share a few tips with you that may help. What you need to do is, first, of course, you need to model good behavior. You are your child's role model, so you need to set a good example for them. Brushing of teeth should be made into a fun activity. Try brushing your teeth with a child. Show the correct way of brushing. Maybe it'll be exciting for the child. They will want to join you when they see you enjoying it. Make it fun for the child. When the child is brushing his teeth, well, you will see bubbles are forming on the toothpaste. So encourage kids to make lots and lots of bubbles, so he'll enjoy the activity. Maybe you can bring his favorite stuffed toy to the bathroom with him when he's brushing his teeth. You can also maybe sing rhymes with your child when he's brushing his teeth. Let your child choose which color toothbrush he would like. Everybody has their own favorite color, so why not give the child the chance to choose his toothbrush? And nowadays you get favorite cartoon characters also on the toothbrush, so let him go and select his own, what he likes. Also the flavor of toothpaste, let your child go and select that as well. Involving him in selection can motivate him to brush his teeth. Children are curious by nature. They will ask why. Maybe you can make up a story about why brushing of teeth is important. What happens when you don't brush your teeth? I feel stories are the best way to communicate with children. Even better is to use a puppet. I'll always propagate puppets for that. Finally, acknowledge the child for doing it correctly. Try out these tips and let me know which one has worked for you. If you have any more questions you would like answered, please write to us on the abcdshow6@gmail.com. Bye-bye.